When looking for the king of podcasts, you're at the wrong channel.
Well, excuse me!
Looking for good ideas for life? You're far from good hands.
Hey, bud, what's your problem?
If you think the listener is always right, you're far from the right place.
Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works!
Hosted by a Northeasterner by birth, but a rebel by choice.
Are you threatening me?
If you want a host that floats between love and madness,
and we know the night is always gonna be here anyway. Thinking of you's working up my appetite. Looking forward to a little afternoon delight.
then play on and listen to Crazy Train Radio.
All right, guys, listen to some blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
Within the gaming world, there are your general gamers, but then there are those that enjoy the dark underbelly of gaming. If you're one of those that enjoy the dark underbelly of gaming, we certainly got the place to send you. Scorpion Lair Games. That's right, Scorpion Lair Games is the creators of the true crime hit Killers, the card game. Let's not forget they also have Killers Clothing Company, their profiler game, and things like the 5-Minute Murder channel on YouTube. And we certainly can't forget the new book that is certainly a hit, Beyond the Headliners, True Crimes, Myths, and Legends. Make sure you visit Jeff and the Scorpion Lair Games on Facebook and everywhere today.
Hey everybody, Ronny Criss here, and you are listening to Crazy Train Radio.
Hey folks, it's your least favorite host in the podcast world, Croc, Jonathan Steele. And boy, do we have a good one for you today.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this next guest we previously had on for his song named Julia in 2025. But we decided to go ahead and bring him on back because he has not only one, but 2 new singles coming out, Gentle Rain and Hurricane and Ghost of Me. Of course, we're also going to take a deep dive into the woods to talk about the writing and getting music out there process to the music lovers. But let's go ahead and welcome Ronny Criss.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, Mr. Criss, welcome back. How are you? How's life been treating you?
Oh, it's good, man. I was telling you before, in the midst of making music and putting music out and playing shows and promoting the new album, I have a family. I've got a little girl who's 4 years old, and So yeah, the calendar is full. It's a
Ab-
it's a lot to juggle because you still try to be everything for that as well. And like today I picked her up from school. We went to the dentist. I had to get a crown. She was amazing, just sitting there, just kind of being very patient for a 4-year-old, which was pretty incredible. And then you take her to get a treat and do sweet things. And now she's watching a show while we do this. This is his life.
yeah. Well, I got to ask, what was the treat? What did we go do?
She wanted to go to Chick-fil-A
Okay.
and she wanted ice cream, but we decided we were going to eat the ice cream we had at home instead of stopping to get ice cream. So, but she likes Chick-fil-A. She actually her favorite though, they just didn't have it that area is Cane's. She loves Cane's.
I haven't had it yet, Canes.
Yeah, she loves it. It's good. It's yeah, it's just chicken tenders and fries. Um, but the chicken tenders are really good. And it's pretty basic and simple. Sometimes the simplest things are the easiest or like the best things.
Yeah, they just opened up two kind of near me in Jersey here. One
Yeah.
down by my sister, and I can't remember where the other one is. And I haven't had any yet, but everybody I know says they love King. They've liked it when they've gone there. So
Yeah, it's just good. I mean, there's a place here in Nashville called McDougal's, which was my wife and I's favorite, and we still like it. The one thing they have is they have all these really great sauces, and you can get the chicken tenders like drenched in the sauces.
yeah,
But they got really expensive, and just kind of for whatever reason, and it's just it got to the point where it was like I can't justify spending this much on chicken tenders, man. Like it's just
yeah,
crazy. And Cane's is not like expensive, it's not cheap, so like it's kind of in between. But at least you feel like you get a lot of things with that price. Whereas,
more bang for your buck.
yeah, and it's and but they're very similar chicken tenders. Like they're juicy tender, they're fried well. Like they're like good tenders. They're not like no, I won't say any company just in case let's go somewhere, but there are some companies that are known for chicken tenders that are not very good.
Yeah, yeah. Now, mind you, if any of these companies want to come on and sponsor, I'd be more than happy to kiss your ass.
Yeah, yeah.
No, yeah, but that's
That's
here
why I'm
nor
not
there.
saying who I don't like.
Yeah, but hey, if like I said, you want to give us some funds, we'll gladly kiss your ass, even if we don't like the product. But
Yeah,
long as the check clears, hey, that's how that works.
I can just smell it. I don't have to eat it.
Yeah. Well, the last time we spoke on this type of forum was probably almost a year ago. You had
Yeah, I
Julia.
was thinking. I felt like it was a year.
Julia.
I think I was.
Just close to it, yeah. Maybe
I think
10
I was
months,
just
something like
about
that.
to release Julia.
That's exactly when it was during that
Yeah,
time period. And
so that's kind of
well,
cool that we've got a year out.
right on. So, what has been the response of Julia since we talked?
Well, the funny thing is, I've released 6 or 7 of the songs off the album since Julia. So there's a lot of different things that have happened in that time frame. But I can tell you, in the first 3 months, like when Julia came out in particular, it got lots of great press. That I had the most, I guess, sort of pro whatever PR work going towards that single initially because it was the launching single, and it got a lot of really great press. People really love that track. I get people periodically that reach out to me. They find it on playlists that just like they say they're blown away by it, and they want to they're kind of, a lot of times they're fishing for work, but like they're still like that's the track that catches their ear, which is really cool. And still to this day, it's like one of the most fun songs that we play live with the band. And it's not like anything else on the record, so um, or much that you really hear currently out there. It's this very unique mix of sounds of a song that I think it deserves way more attention than it's gotten overall, but like we know how that works. I mean, it really just depends on how much money you put into it.
Absolutely. And, I was talking to a friend of the show who's a known musician, and guy's just become a friend in 10 years. And, I'll tell you about it when the little red button's not off because I don't want to feel like I'm pushing one or the other or whatever the case is. But he's a singer-songwriter and made the song. And it hit me hard because of not only knowing that story, but because of my own stuff as well. Because
Yeah.
music does that to you. So,
Oh, absolutely.
but speaking of music, I have two little files we are going to insert into this episode as I
Yeah.
pour myself another drink. So, we are going to do, well, obviously, both are going to be inserted here. So, I guess we'll start off with Ghost of Me.
Yeah.
So, what can you say about Ghost of Me before we go ahead and insert that here? But also, can you talk about the backstory of it and such?
Sure. Ghost to Me is one of the songs I wrote not too far out from when I started making the record. It was one of the newer songs written for the record. It was written after my daughter was born. It was written after my daughter was born. I had a very limited time to write, so most of my writing happened at night, borderline in the dark sometimes, like trying to be as quiet as I could. Um, and it's funny because that's not the song. If you listen to the song is the most rocking song on the record. So it's a wonder that I was able, like you can write a song like that where you're trying to be quiet and you're trying to, but the reality is the vibe and what you're doing, and like, even though you don't sing it full out or whatever, you get to that once you get to a place where you can really work it. But, I was just in that moment, I was thinking about, I think earlier in the day that I started writing it, I had seen a photograph of me when I was like 22. It was like I was in the kitchen of some apartment that I lived in Chicago. Honestly, I was probably a little hungover or something, and like I was like just kind of staring back. And I had what a lot of people I think as they get older moments that they have is they kind of have a moment where they're like, "Where's that guy at?" Like that guy is gone, but he's here. Like I'm him, he's me, we're the same person. But that version of that guy doesn't seem to exist, but there's something about that guy that like you're still the way my head started going with it was that's the guy who had like all the fire to like do the music thing and really and really do it. And that guy became me. But sometimes as you get older, you still have all those things, but it's different. It's more mature. It's more you have more wisdom, and you know. But there's a ghost of that guy that you kind of always want to chase because that's the guy that drives you forward, right? So I got this idea of the ghost of me because there was a part of me, it was like it's almost like the guy's just a ghost. Like I don't know who he is or what he is. And then I started working on that idea, and really the song is about um, you know, it's really just about that person is the person you're always going to try to at least keep inspiring you, keep driving you. You may never catch that guy because you can't really catch that guy. But if you keep chasing him, you'll keep going somewhere. And
Yeah.
that's what the song's about. And then the vibe that we took on the record for it is really, it's very much um, from a production standpoint and a feel standpoint, it's very much like a rockin' Rolling Stones meets Ryan Adams. Um, I don't know, meets a few other things. Uh, it's fun. Sean really amped up the fun on that track. So the tempo is very up, and there's all kinds of like hoot and hollering going on, and it's just a lot of fun. And we really played that up, and it became such a signature track that the album almost was going to be called Ghost of Me. Um, but I kind of started thinking, well, I want the album title to reflect everything on the record in some way. And Ghost of Me was pretty much still just pretty much a picture of that song. So I went a different direction with the album title, but that's how important that song is to the record.
Yeah. And kind of what you're saying too, and I think you said it without saying it, was, and I have those same thoughts about myself at 41, going to be 42, compared to what I was in my early 20s and such. And I always say that, I would say there's a line for me that there was pre-serious health stuff and post-serious health stuff. And there was a little bit of gray area in between those two people, you know what I mean? That you cringe, I can't believe I was like that. But what you were saying without saying it is between the guy in the picture, at least the guy I've dealt with, and the guy now that, or at that point writing the song, you were, a new father, you were married, you were just a different person and you evolved at that point. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What I think, what I want people to get out of the song is I'm not longing to be the 22-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm longing to maintain the spirit and the fire of the 22-year-old.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to have the same thoughts or make the same stupid mistakes that the 22-year-old made. I like the guy that I am now who's able to see past some of that stuff and make different decisions. But it's kind of the thing that's to be my age and to still be making music, even if I have a certain amount of success that, I'm proud of the things that we've done and I'm still, trying to achieve more. But there's many people that if they don't get to a certain point by a certain age, they just give up entirely. And I haven't done that. And mostly I haven't done that because I can't give up. And what I mean by that is, writing songs and singing songs is like who I am. So it's not going to stop.
Yeah.
And the only way to really be able to do it is to keep doing it in a way that allows you to have those opportunities. If you just stop doing that and you're just going to say, well, I'll just sing and whatever, when will you ever sing? Where will you ever play? Why would you, would you really keep writing a song? Because what are you going to do with it? At some point, there's so many people that like to do certain things and that they get out of the game, as they call it. They put it up, they put it away. And yeah. I don't think I could ever put it away, but there's a part of me that feels like it would feel like, what am I doing? I'm just singing to a wall. What a lot of people don't understand as a singer or performer is it's a two-way street. There's no performing if there's no one to watch the performance. And it's not about you just want people to watch you. It's not that. It's like we're joining in a contract here. The contract is we're going to experience something together. The role that I play is I'm putting it in front of you. The role that you play is that you absorb it, you take it in, and you react to it. And for the most part, people who don't do what I do, they want to be in that contract a lot. They just want to be that side of it. They want to be the side where they go and they listen and they get the feels and they experience the thing and they see something either they think is cool or they wish they could do, or for some people it's the lyrics. They just want to go and listen to someone sing these lyrics that just change their world, and I like that contract too. I like to be a part of that. But I also am the type of person who likes to create that, and I like to give that. So that's part of the reason why I still do what I do, for sure.
So why don't I go ahead and put Ghost of Me right here?
Yeah. It's rocking.
Chasing through haunted halls
coming out of Ghost of Me, and when you were talking there right before this song played about, that contract, that two-way deal and all,
Yeah.
I was thinking about some of the stories of the person who'll remain nameless on air because of some of their stories when they got their start in Nashville and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sitting here chuckling because as a songwriter, they would it's just funny when they tell the stories, like, because they had some hits and stuff with other people first as a songwriter, then made it their own and all this, and it'd be like, and the grind. We don't think that works here. We don't think that works here. Why does anybody want to hear a song about that? Just all the any way to chop you at the knees, right?
Yeah. All the no's.
Yeah, but yeah, with some of that, it ended up becoming that person's some of his most popular stuff, if that makes sense.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's just funny. And when you were saying that, I was thinking about some of these stories that this person had told me. So, we can talk all day about this because I want to bring up the other song as well.
Mhm.
But do you write? Would you say you write most of your stuff?
Yeah. When I play with the band and I'm playing 4 hours or something, we play covers with the originals. But what I do, who I am as an artist and a songwriter, is about being a writer,
Okay.
not just a performer. There are a few songs some buddies of mine have written that I really like that I would be open to recording, like just not because I'm trying to break the song or anything, just because I love the song. I think it'd be cool to put on record. But like, um, in general, I have things to say, and so I'm trying to say those things, and I'm trying to write the best songs that I can at any given time. So that's kind of the focus on my end.
Well, the reason why I asked that question was because, and I tend to ask this with whether you're a singer songwriter or you're a author or you write movies, TV, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
That the writing side is your creative outlet for the most part. For you, at least, Ronnie, when do you say when, as far as, okay, I'm ready to put this out to the world? Whether it's a single on iTunes or it's a full record, or do you still kick yourself going, oh man, I could have did this. I wanted to do, not fully letting go, but you have to let go, if that makes sense.
Well, let's put it this way. I have so many songs that I've written. I don't have the money or the time to put them all out. There's just no way. And of course, there's a percentage of those that shouldn't be out because in the world of writing songs and learning how to write songs well, you have bridge songs. When I mean bridge is like songs that aren't that great, but they get you to the next song that makes you get,
Mm-hmm.
they're drafts and things of that nature, things that get you there. But generally when it comes to a song, if I know it's a song that's going to, I think before it ever makes a record, I know for a fact it's something that I want to perform out. So I'll try different songs and sometimes I'll play a song and I'm like, yeah, I just don't know if that's working. It might need more time and then it might end up on a shelf for a little while. Some of those have actually been pulled off shelves and then made into good songs, but timing is whatever the timing is for that song.
Is that because of lessons you've learned, whether you perform it live and test it, or?
Well, when I write something and I walk out of a write, the first sign that it's good or it's close to good is I keep wanting to play it at home.
Okay.
Like I just keep wanting to sing it. I keep wanting to play it. It's like the only way I can describe it in a similar term is like when, say, if your favorite artist releases a record, so it's something you're already into, and then there's one song on that record you just keep playing over and over again because you just love the way it sounds. So you just play it and you're like, oh, I got to listen to that one more time. I got to listen to that one more time. Well, as a writer, sometimes you write something, you're like, oh my God, I got to play that again. I got to play that again. Because there's something about it that it keeps drawing you back into that well, right? And when I see that, when I start to experience that with myself, I'm like, okay, we're on to something. Then I look at them like, have we finished it? Is it tweaked? Does it need any tweaks? If I feel like it's finished, then I start playing it out live, and that's usually acoustic. But sometimes I've just brought a song straight to the band and been like, "Hey, I think this is something we got to do it," and I show it to them, and then they love it, and then we work up a version of it, and we start playing it out with the band. At that point, it's like, okay, now is it where am I in the recording process? Am I at a place to make a new record? And then usually all those good songs get put into a folder, like a big, like a big bin, and then me and the producer look at them, and we try to figure out which ones go, which ones belong on a record, right, on an album. And and sometimes what happens is there's a 12 or 13 songs that, yeah, those definitely go together, but there might be a really good song that doesn't fit with that album. So then the choice is, do I just release it as a single and just let it be into the world, or do we wait and hold it for something else? And so there are songs that are, there's two songs that we play out all the time with the band that I haven't put on either of these two records that probably are going to make the next record, but I had them before the first record. So you're like, well, why didn't they make the first record and why didn't they make the second record? Because whatever about those songs, they're cool live, but they didn't belong with the other songs. You know what I mean?
Well, let me throw this out there then, as it just crosses my mind. Is okay, it doesn't fit the first or the second record, these two songs in particular. Because then I want to jump into Gentle Rain and Hurricane.
Yeah.
But can you see yourself, if and when a third record is put together, that you kind of base that off these two songs, if they're similar? That you have something with these two. Let's see what we can base around that to put a record together.
Sure. That's one direction I could take.
Okay.
The problem that I run into is I have so many songs that I have a couple different versions of what you just talked about that can take me in completely different directions.
Fair
so
enough.
Then the idea is like, what does, the thing I'm facing, which I think I actually know what I'm going to do. I need to have some conversations with some people before I really go at it. But I have a whole album already sort of in the hopper for demos.
Okay.
No, they're not I'd still have to go in the studio and truly record them
and clean it up and all that fun stuff, right?
Well, they're just basic demos, but just give you the idea of what's going on. Like you'd re-record everything, but
yeah,
you would record them properly. But I have I have a whole record that could be put out. It's in a certain style, and it makes sense that it might be a good third act to these three records, like that.
Okay.
But there's also a record out there that's kind of a southern rock record that could be really great too. So I gotta just sort of make some decisions.
Yeah, it's kind of which direction I want to go with the material I have, right?
Yeah, and one of the other things you got to think about is, well, where are you going to get the most which one's going to get the most attention?
That's also, that's,
you know what I mean? Like
mm-hmm.
You would think like, so I basically made a country rock record, and then I made more of an indie rock singer-songwriter record with a little bit of country flair. What's the third one going to be? And right now, there's an element where I'm leaning a little bit into some bluegrass elements for the third record, because that's another thing that I'm good at, is writing songs in that vein to some degree. They're not, but they wouldn't be full-blown bluegrass. It would be kind of, I don't know if you want to call it newgrass. There's some elements to it. There's some, pop and country elements that would be in it. But that world might be a world that it would be more open to the new material. So it's something to think about for me.
Yeah. Now, when you say that, and I know I'm going sideways here, but
it's okay.
No. When you're thinking bluegrass, are you thinking something like Stanley Brothers, Lester Flatt, or we go and say median of the road time wise, Ricky Skaggs, or a little further down the ride, uh, old uh, old Crow Medicine Band. Like how where we think the timeline, if that makes sense, from the different eras of bluegrass.
It's probably a little closer to Old Crow meets oh man, what's his name? What were they called? There was a trio that the young guy with the blonde hair um plays a mandolin. I can't believe I can't remember his name. You can cut that all out.
No, it's we'll think of it. We'll think of it.
But like there's certainly like a little closer to Old Crow, but like there's some things I'm thinking about in terms of production that swing in a little bit indie folk too.
Okay.
So it might not be quite like Old Crow, um, but it's certainly utilizing. It would be utilizing mandolins, banjos, dobros, and fiddles.
Yeah,
In
like
a way
the
that
guy I'm thinking of with the sorry to cut you off. The guy I'm thinking of with the mandolin, though he wasn't blonde. And I mentioned his name there. Ricky Skaggs is the one I think of.
yeah, this is a younger guy, but I love Ricky
Okay.
Skaggs. I love Ricky Skaggs, but probably not so. Ricky Skaggs is more old school bluegrass.
Yeah, okay.
It's really much. It's a hybrid. It's not a true bluegrass aficionado probably wouldn't even call it bluegrass, but it's certainly rootsy influenced in that direction. But it's
Okay.
still my songs, and it's really just trying to blend genres in a way that I think is interesting, that maybe has been done before, but not quite the way I want to do it. And so those are the ideas that I have. And the cool thing is I already can tell by the demos that the songs all work together really well. So it's like a lot of the pre-production would be a little easier to do. But that would be I still got to continue getting this record out and promoting it. So that's not something that's happening in the nearest of future.
Okay. All right. Gentle rain and hurricanes. So again, talk to me about putting this song together and
Yeah.
what to where we get to this final product of what we got here.
Yeah, this is a song that's been quite a few years in the making. I wrote this song with two songwriters here in Nashville, Davis Corley and Mark Addison Chandler, and we wrote it probably 2013, 14, maybe. And it was one of those where I loved it. I loved when we wrote it. It was a really cool write. We kind of all got together, and I had this cool finger picking thing I was doing, almost a James Taylor-esque kind of
Love
chord
James Taylor.
progression. Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, that's really cool." And then Davis gravitated towards it immediately, and he's like, "Give me a second. I want to mess with something." So he kind of stepped off, and he wrote what is, I think, the middle verse of the song. No, it's not the middle verse. He basically wrote like the last verse of the song. We didn't know at the time it was going to be the last verse, but he wrote like the picture that he created in the last verse was like we were just like we were blown away by it and we loved it. So we started writing to that,
Mm-hmm.
and we ended up writing the first verse, and then we found a verse in the middle that made connected the two. I think we had a different bridge, and then I rewrote the bridge at some point down the road. But it was one of the songs I started playing out initially when we wrote it, but I got busy with other things and kind of different songs, and there was never an opportunity to really record it well at the time that I was putting it out there, so I never continued that. And then it didn't make sense for the first record, so I didn't use it for the first record, but I knew I wanted it on the second record. I was certain the direction I was going to take with the second record needed that song. So I knew then I was going to make it happen. And then when I showed it to Sean, like always, Sean Byrne, has this beautiful way of like hearing what I'm doing and taking it to the level that we both want to take it to. And his vibe on it was, he almost wanted to lean into a Glenn Campbell-ish kind of production on it. Um, there's elements of like kind of strings that come in and out. It does have some of the sort of theatrical stuff of like beach sounds and stuff to sort of play up the song. The song's called Gentle Rain and Hurricane. And it's really it's a love song. It's a song about loving people through difficult times. There you could say it's rough relationships, or you could say it even has to do with loving people through mental illness and things that don't seem to make sense. But the idea is that, whether it's a gentle rain or a hurricane, the love remains. Um, and that's what all the lyrics are about. But they're beautifully written. I mean, I love what the three of us were able to put together on that song. The pictures are just really descriptive, and it's like painting. It's like every image you can hear, and when you read the lyrics, it's just you can see it. And I love that about the song, and I think people connect with it for sure.
Well, why don't I go ahead and put Gentle Rain and Hurricane right here.
Lightning is striking, glass in the wet sand. She's breaking dishes all over the kitchen. She opens the front door to a storm on the coast. Now the curtains are blowing and the carpet is soaked. She rages on like a tropical storm. I try to keep calm, pick up the pieces when she's done. We've seen better days, but our love is strong like the waves through gentle rain and hurricane. Now she's caught in the sheets, she can't break free, face in the pillow, pretending to sleep. Long golden hair spilled over the bed, tangled like beach grass, beat down in sand. Dark clouds have faded, there's nothing but silence and lone tired branches resting from all the drifting. Her mind's an ocean away, but our love is strong like the waves through gentle rain and hurricane. And at times I think I might be her lighthouse, but at night when the fog rolls in, I have my doubts. It's there on the breeze, the taste of the sea, the salt of the ocean just stirring around me. The sun's coming up as she moves from the bed and sits by the window with her hair in the wind. Children are playing out on the beach, and I watch her watch them, wondering what she's thinking. That horizon is gray, but our love is strong like the waves through gentle rain and hurricane. Through gentle rain and hurricane.
All right, coming out of General Rain and Hurricane, got a couple more questions for you, sir. Appreciate your
Sure.
time because I know you got the 4-year-old entertained for the moment. We'll say because
Just
I know how
watching
that
Bluey.
goes. Hey, shit, I'm 42 and love Bluey.
Bluey's the
Stop.
best.
All right, you learn that, because I had a niece and nephew. I've had them since they were day one. They're in school and all full time now at 9 and 7. But it's like, shit, I love Bluey too. I learned shit, without even realizing I'm relearning shit.
Yeah. No,
You know
it's
what I
great
mean?
show.
Yeah, hey, it works. But since we've been talking about the songwriting process and all that fun stuff, are you one now? Obviously, you do a lot of stuff on guitar and all. And you learned early by learning chords and rhythmic bass playing like a Dave Matthews and picking and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But a lot of people I don't think realize. Some do, like your real music nerds like myself, that everything is based on the speed of the drummer. So when you're writing stuff, do you find yourself writing stuff to work around drum patterns like a Julia or in putting the song together, or is it let me write everything based off the guitar and we'll figure everything else out later?
I mean, honestly, the best way I can describe what you're talking about, which is true to me, is that rhythmic stuff is already in me. So there's my natural playing style is a rhythmically almost percussive type of playing. So there is elements that when I'm doing stuff on the guitar, I'm already setting that up naturally. That's always
Okay.
been something about me. That's like the way that I hear music and the way that I play the guitar. So when it comes to finding a drum group for my stuff, it's not it's generally not that difficult. I'm better now than I used to be. So like now, like generally it's close to the same time signature throughout and the time that beats per minute. So you're not like I'm not waffling around a lot. When I was younger, I did more, and I've listened to old demos, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm
But it was we know what we don't know at the time too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, like so it's pretty, a lot of the drum vibes that we have on the new record. I mean, it was pretty easy when we went in to do pre-production to create drum loops for those songs to get some of the basic stuff down because um the vibe was there. Julia is one of them. Like that groove that I play on the guitar just basically almost cries for that drum beat. Um, the soulful stuff has a vibe to it that is pretty quick to hear. A lot of my country stuff swings in a way that's pretty quick and easy to understand where the drum should go. So, in a sense, like it's not like there's an exact drum part that I'm hearing when I'm writing the song, but there is absolutely a rhythmic feel that I know is in that song. And then it's usually pretty easy for the drummer to find what that song needs. Um, and then it's just like, well, how cute do you want to get with it, you know?
Mhm. And I know I went inside baseball there, but hey.
No, that's cool. That's a cool question. No one's ever asked me that before.
So songs, and I believe I heard you say this before, or we may even talked about it when we were, excuse me, when we were talking about Julia and songs. It seems like we were kind of talking about it earlier when I was mentioning a friend's song that felt personal, and even non-friends songs tend to feel personal, because of experiences we all have in life. So, do you find most of your stuff being more of a conversation in your head, but it's also a true version of storytelling?
A lot of it is that, um, probably, it kind of depends on where the song was born. When you're in Nashville and you write with a lot of different people and you schedule writes, sometimes you go into a room and everybody's just like, well, let's find a title we like, something clever and interesting, and let's write to that. If you do a song like that, there's quite a possibility you're not going to really write something too personal. there may be some elements of personal things that get sort of dropped into it, but the song as a whole might not be personal. When you're writing by yourself, you have a tendency to be more connected to yourself and more personal. And a lot of times writing is a way of working through your thoughts and ideas and emotions to get to a place that's, to understand yourself and understand things. And so in those moments, I can certainly tell you that those songs, like The Roadrunner, which is on the new record, is absolutely a song like that. Love Ain't Love is a song like that. Ghost Me basically is a song like that. Gentle Rain and Hurricane is not a song like that, but it is inspired by real things from three different people's perspective that made it into one song, right? So there's images in Gentle Rain and Hurricane that I could point to and be like, yeah, I experienced that. But I'm not gonna say which ones, but like,
No.
yeah, it's like so like, but I can't say that all of the stuff in that is the opening. The opening verse of the song is the female in the relationship is basically going on a tear and breaking dishes all over the kitchen. I've never seen that. That's not something I've experienced, but I've experienced people being madder than hell. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, so that's kind of, you just pull from your life. And a lot of times when you write by yourself, you have a tendency to pull more out of who you are than when you're writing with other people. But it doesn't mean that you aren't in other songs too. Um, I just know this. I know the best songs I've ever written is me, and they say this. I mean, this is a thing they tell you as a early young songwriters, write what you know. The best songs that I've ever written are from the point of view that I know, things that I'm aware of, things that I have experienced. And the songs where I'm trying to like tell some story that I've never experienced just because I thought it's a cool story, it doesn't always hit the same. It's just not quite the same because I don't know that, you know.
All right. And this is probably more inside baseball as well. Do you tend to write lyrics first, or do you go music first, then try to put the lyrics around the music?
It's both. Now, what I mean by that is some days it's lyrics bring you to the song, to the guitar. Guitar's picked up. You start playing something, looking at the lyrics, and you start to find your way. Other times I pick up the guitar and I have some kind of chord progression, and maybe I start singing nonsense to find a melody. And once I find something I really like, then I start trying to write lyrics to that. I've gotten great songs both ways. So it's really just how the muse strikes me, basically.
Okay. Final question for you.
Yeah.
Do you I know this can be tricky because everybody has different styles and such, but how with your style, because like you were saying, record one was one way, record two was another one, record three is going to be a different direction you're trying to figure out and all. So, how do you make sure you catch a music fan's attention with how the business is? Because you mentioned earlier, like if you like a particular band, like I might like the Eagles, or I would like Garth Brooks, or Vince Gill, or whoever, and there's a certain style with them. That frame of business has changed, obviously, with singles going out and streaming and everything else. With your stuff, how do you make sure that your music catches somebody's attention to go, that guy's interesting, Ronny Criss. Let me dig deeper into what he's got.
Well, I think my voice and the way that I write comes through no matter what. So I think initially that's going to be the thing that catches people. That's the thing. The vibe of who I am, I think, is apparent no matter what style I'm doing. That being said, if my first record would have hit and gone like multi-platinum and I was all over the place and that sound became like the sound of the summer or something one year, um, it's much more difficult to switch directions from that point because you've created an audience that basically they expect you to be this thing. And if you go too far left or right of that, they're gonna it may not hit, and then you kind of like almost like that's where you got to nail the sophomore thing, right? Um, because I haven't had that success. Um, my success is more, on a good level, but a more humble level. It hasn't broken through a certain ceiling. I'm not in danger of like alienating a certain group of people, the vibe about who I am. So it actually gives me freedom to do some different things. Because the other part too is if I'm at this level where I'm at now and making a very cool, one of a kind bluegrass record actually causes me to break because it opens up a door that wasn't, you know what I mean? Like I find a new audience looking in a different room. That might be the smartest thing to do. You know what I mean? Whereas, you would never suggest, when Keith Urban's whatever record that was, where he had Somebody Like You came out and he was all over the country, for Keith to then immediately do a bluegrass record, that would probably been a bad idea.
No, I get that out. Yeah, I get that. I won't say I was in high school when that came out, junior or senior, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's so, the only reason I say it that way is it's like, look, I don't feel pigeonholed to a particular sound, because the people who like me and who come out to my shows and like what I do, they actually like both records, and they're very different records. They like all the songs. So they don't actually have a problem with the diversity that I put out. And honestly, I really think if I did lean into that other direction, they would vibe with that too. Because in the end, I think it's my songwriting that cuts through it all. I'm unique to myself, and I think that's what they hear. And then also the circumstance I'm in makes me say, you know what the hell? I mean, I'm making music. I'm trying to make the best music I can, but in the end, I'm making music from my heart. So why would I, make it differently? If that's where my heart's leading me, I should just go there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll obviously have links to everything, but where can people find you if they wish to search you out?
Yeah, probably my biggest platform is Instagram. So that's at Ronny Criss, RonnyCriss. Facebook's pretty, decent size as well. If you're more into Facebook, you can find me at facebook.com/Ronny Criss. I'm also on X, and then RonnyCriss.com. So RonnyCriss.com is my website. That's where you can keep up with everything that's going on, shows. We do have a special thing on there called Sponsor a Song, which is a unique thing we added in the process of making this record. So anybody who sponsors a song at that level of sponsorship, their name's forever attached to that particular song. So every time it's released, any kind of promotions for the song, their names will always be attached to it, and they also get access to a free house concert, which is a pretty cool thing. So that's something that's on there that people can look at if they want to help support more in a financial way, and also get access to us performing for them. But we're selling the new album is called Hurricane Heart. It's available on my website on vinyl and deluxe CD. It'll be streaming probably by the end of September. We're taking a different approach, so we're putting out songs at a time. But if you want it in your hands and want to hear the whole record now, you can purchase it on the website.
Ronny, thank you so much for the time as always. Much love.
Thank you.
So,
well, I
thank you,
appreciate
sir.
I appreciate you taking the time with me, and I'm glad we made it work. And it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Absolutely. Hey folks, looking for the ultimate destination for the nerd enthusiasts and collectors? Well, we found the spot for you. Nerds Nest Collectibles is a haven for nerds, geeks, and fans alike, as they have many different products and certainly more to come.
make sure you go ahead and visit them at nerdsnestcollectibles.com. Check them out.
Hi, this is Richard Karn. You should be listening to Crazy Train Radio.